I came back from my time overseas in March of 1978. It turned out that several of us arrived from overseas training with similar ideas. John Forbes, Michael Byrne, myself, Martin Tattersall, who was the first professor of oncology in this country. We were trained not only medically but also scientifically. So we understood scientific method, and we realised that it could be applied to clinical treatment. We knew we had to design trials that would take the best standard treatment and try and improve on it. And so the first trials we did asked, should you use the endocrine treatments first, or the chemotherapy first, or both together? And it turned out that starting with tamoxifen before going on to chemotherapy was a good idea. So we defined a policy which is still in the guidelines for the treatment of metastatic breast cancer 40 years later. It was a group of like-minded people working together on similar problems, and that's ultimately very satisfying, particularly when you start getting results that fit into what's happening elsewhere in the world and you're making a contribution on an international level. One important example was we were involved in the first batch of trials using Herceptin in the treatment of early breast cancer, the so-called HERA study, and it was brilliantly successful. That trial and the others that were done in other parts of the world at the same time were all presented at the same ASCO meeting, and the entire room got up and applauded when all the results were in. This was a breakthrough in the treatment of what had been a particularly nasty variant of breast cancer, the HER2-positive disease. Each of our trials, each generation of trials, has sought to get the science right, and especially to design trials where we're going to learn something whichever way they come out. I think women in Australia and New Zealand are exposed to the best possible treatments because we're involved in worldwide, world-ranking research. There's some exciting new work in many types of cancer now with immune therapies. That's right at the cutting edge of where we're going at the moment. As a result of the last 40 years, we've got a group that is strong and constructive and has a future, and it's the future that I'm more interested in. Where we go from here, where the young people who take over from us will take the group and take the science for the benefit of women yet to come.